What's going on, my friend? It's Jeff Newport from ChasingStrength.com, and in today's video, we are answering the question, which is better, the snatch, in other words, the kettlebell snatch, or the kettlebell clean and press? Now, why are we going to answer this question? Why are we addressing the topic in today's video? Well, very simple. I've been getting more and more questions lately about alternating between the snatch and the clean and press in training cycles. One of the common concerns that a lot of guys have is that they're going to lose pressing strength by switching to snatch-only programming. So it sets up the question either consciously or subconsciously, well, which is better, the snatch or the clean and press? But really the answer is a little deeper than that. What we have to ask is better for what, right? Better for what? What is it we're trying to accomplish? So before you feel any sort of pressure to make a decision between the two, here's why I like using the two exercises or the two lifts, okay? Snatch, by default, I'm talking about the single kettlebell version, and I'm talking about ripping the kettlebell from the floor or between your legs and putting it over your head and then dropping it from over your head back underneath your legs, okay? That's what we're calling the snatch. Now, I'm defining that because there are some other terms floating around there around the kettlebell universe or multiverse, whichever you prefer, right? That we'll probably cover in some other videos. Now, here's why the snatch is a great exercise. It's great for training power production, which is found in almost every sport worth participating in. It's great for improving your conditioning, right? Conditioning, cardiovascular fitness. So it improves performance and health. It's great for ripping off body fat. It's great for training the outer unit of your core. It's great for making your posterior chain, your glutes, your hamstrings, and calves even stronger. And it's great for strengthening your grip. And it's also great for making your upper back and traps stronger. And finally, the snatch has even been known for building bigger biceps and making kettlebell presses stronger. Speaking of kettlebell presses, let's cover the clean and press and why we want to use that. Now, the single kettlebell clean and press does almost all that the snatch does and more, including it strengthens the triceps and shoulders directly, and it builds muscle on the triceps and shoulders directly through increased mechanical tension, right? Because you have a slower movement. Plus, for some, it actually patterns the snatch, which means it's valuable all by itself. Now, let's talk about the double clean and press and why it's my favorite kettlebell clean and press. And that's because of what we call the systemic overload, which means it's more demanding on your body than the single version because you're using more weight in most cases, all right? And that means you're going to get stronger faster, and that means you're going to grow more muscle faster, assuming your loading parameters are correct. And for some, depending on those loading parameters, you're going to burn fat faster. So don't feel like you have to look at it as one is better than the other. They're different tools in the same box. Now, you might be wondering, well, how do I program them? Again, that's a question I've been getting a lot lately too. A lot of guys report great results from alternating cycles of the two exercises. For example, some alternate 4 weeks of the Giant, which is a kettlebell clean and press program, alternating with 3 weeks of KSK, which is the King Size Killer, which is a snatch only program. Here's what James, the guy who uses the handle at James PTA, says over on the Strong First Forum. We'll flash this up here on the screen. He says that he uses this cycle. It's a 25-week cycle, and for weeks 1 through 4, he uses the Giant 1.0. Weeks 5 through 7, he uses KSK 1.0, phase 1. And then weeks 8 through 11, he uses Giant 2.0. Weeks 12 through 14, he uses KSK 1.0, phase 2. And then weeks 15 through 18, the Giant 1.1. Weeks 19 through 21, KSK 1.0 phase 3, or restart phase 1 with a heavier kettlebell. And weeks 22 through 25, he uses the Giant 1.2 or 3.0 with a heavier set. And he says, so far, the weekly volume has improved every week, not including reload weeks. Okay. And then in the same thread, okay, we're going to pop this up. I asked him how his results were. And so this is what he said. Okay. So we'll flash this up here on the screen. He said pre-testing, his double clean and military press was a 6 RM. And then post-testing, it was about an 8 or 9 RM. And his snatch with the 32 kilos started at a 3 RM. RM, just in case you're wondering, is repetition max if you haven't been around here for a while or you're new here. And you turn that into a 12 to 13 RM. And then this was unique, a bent press. Okay. 1 RM went from a 32 to a 36 kilo. And then this is what he said about his body improvements. He said, no skin calipers, no bod pod. So this is purely subjective. My shirts are officially a size bigger, XL. My arms need more room, but also mainly because of the width of my upper back. You could project a Hollywood movie on the thing now. That's That's great. The waist on my pants got looser. The belt had to get pulled tighter. However, as some may remember, I ripped a pair of pants this summer because my glutes and quads had no room. It's now a necessity for me to wear stretch pants for work. We also had a few coat and tie events, and I could not get any of my top buttons remotely close to closing. All new button-up shirts had to be purchased. And he said, I never really watched the scale. My calorie intake fluctuated over the last 6 months, so I suspect my weight did as well. So there you go. Proof of the pudding is always in the eating. What kind of results can you expect? If you follow it, you may see results very similar to James's, right? Improved strength, improved muscularity, decreased body fat. Now, here's the good news. You don't have to use an alternating approach, okay? You don't have to alternate cycles if you don't want to between the clean and press and the snatch, right? Which again is an either or approach. You can actually combine the two in the same training cycle and reap the rewards of using both, which personally I tend to prefer more because I'm an and both type of guy, not an either or type of guy. And that's exactly what you'll find in my program called Kettlebell Maximorum. You'll perform the snatch and the double clean and press twice a week using a light heavy approach. It's 2 6-week phases for 12 weeks total. In phase 1, you'll train for power and maximum strength. In phase 2, you'll train for power endurance and strength endurance. What kind of results will you get? Well, it's up to each individual and how well they can follow the program. I think Brandon said it well. We'll flash his comment up here on the screen. He said, Maximorum is by far your best program yet. Checks all the boxes. You can check Kettlebell Maximorum out in the video description below. I'll leave a link to it. I'll also leave links to the Giant Clean and Press program if you just want to train your clean and press, and the King Size Killer Snatch Only program if you just want to train your snatch only. Okay, so hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, click the like button, smash the subscribe button, share it with a friend, and leave me a comment in the comment section below. How do you mix clean and press and the snatch, or have you done that before? And if so, what were your results? All right, until next time, my friend, stay strong.